So, so we go through that God idea. It becomes very interesting. But again, life is big. Hey, there's something for everybody. This is not for everyone. People talk about freedom, but they really don't want it. They want their implied freedoms, because there can never be freedom. Here, there can never be peace. There can never be any of these things, simply because it's only getting worse, even though people strive for it and happiness and all these things. Yeah, you'll have a few moments of happiness. And those people that have a good life and have a good job or making money, etc., that's been created out of nothing, they're doing fine for a while until they get into future lifetimes, because the planet's getting worse and more controlled. And it's absolutely controlled now. We're in a matrix. We're in a microwave matrix. So if people want to think that God created all this for happier times, fine, go for it. I'm not rebelling against the systems. I don't negate anything. I'm just simply reporting the news of what's actually taking place. And what's actually taking place is the isness of life already is, but you must recognize that you must take the time to do so, and you will experience real freedom once you do take the time to do the New You sessions and eventually gain enough experience and comparison to be able to do so. It's a recognition all its own. It's quite separate from the ideas that we've come through for many, many lifetimes. And these ideas have always led us right back here to doing the same things. The appearance of the world is different. It seems like technology is going to solve something, but it's destroying the world. It's not going to solve anything. Did the Indians need computers and laptops and cell phones and fax machines and rocket ships? No, they were doing fine. They actually focused, like I said, on the natural environment, and they could actually move into the other worlds also. But, again, the white man didn't listen to this. He was more interested in being industrious, so that's what he did. So this is where we are today. But again, the gods of man, for the most part, have their foothold on the earth. And this is what people look to. They look to the authoritarians of the earth as their representative of the gods of man. But again, this is just marketing ploy. This is all marketing ploy. And you can learn to see this on the real side. You start to see behind the curtain. This is where your real awareness comes in. You start to see behind this curtain. And then part 2 of your question, Val, was what? What was the basic idea? Go ahead.
Is there an identity in the real universes? Is it just a view? Is identity really another word for awareness? Are you awareness? Or are we the same in the real universes? Maybe I'm asking too many questions, but is there, what I mean is identity? You and I are the same, or I'm the same as the next person in a way, but the difference is our awareness. You said that before, but other than that, is there like an identity or something that exists in the real universes, or is that just in the creation worlds?
Do you, Val, do you have a driver's license?
Yes. Yes, I do.
I guessed that you did. Yes, I guessed that you did. Okay, so you've qualified yourself to identify yourself, right? And that helps you do that here. It's like, especially if the police pull you over, they want to see who you are, right?
Yes.
You can tell them who you are, but they're not going to, we'll use the word, they're not going to believe that, are they? You need that ID, don't you? Yes.
Yes.
Well, yeah. Well, anyhow, I'm just having fun here. This is fun. So this is how it is here. I don't remember. What do you think? Let's just guess here. Did the Indians have driver's license? Was there a DMV around then?
Probably not.
Do you have if they rode too fast on their horse, was there some Indian behind the bushes there that came out and said, "Hey, you're riding too fast"? Yeah. So again, an Indian cop, whatever. Anyhow, we have fun with this. It's all kind of funny, isn't it? How we've created these societies. And yes, as you go into the real universes, what's kind of fun, life is fun, and the boys will have fun with you, and that is that they may ask you for your ID.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so are you going to be ready? Yeah, they may ask you that. Do you have ID? Yeah. But actually, no, there's no such thing. Real freedom is where you don't need anything. And it would seem as though that, well, what do you do there? You see, I'm always asked this. I know. And this is where the real universes differ from creation. Creation, you're doing things. You're creating things. That's the whole idea of creation, okay? And that is that through that process of doing things, whatever it is, if it's washing the dishes, baking bread, scrubbing the clothes on the rocks, which, most indigenous people did. They didn't have washing machines, okay, because they didn't have outlets at the time, so they didn't have anywhere to plug in the washing machine, okay? So you have to invent the outlet first before the washing machine, because there's nowhere to plug it in. But anyhow, so, all these things that we've done, dig for water, build houses, whatever, out of trees, this is what we do in creation. But in the real universes, it is a recognition of what already is. This is the adventure. It's actually a bigger and better adventure than anything in creation. Because in creation, everything is cause and effect. And this is what people don't get. Yes, creation is fun. It's like the sandbox. It's like your kids. If you have kids and they go outside and play, what do? They, if they see a puddle of water, they go jump in it, right? You tell them, no, don't do that. If they see mud, they go jump in it. Yeah. And then you have to clean them all up. That's cause and effect there. It's not, I didn't say good or bad, did I? No, it's not good or bad. It's not about good or bad, right or wrong. It's just cause and effect. And it's okay, you get the experience. So this is what we do for, actually millions of lifetimes in different body forms. We've all taken on different body forms because it's a lot, and each lifetime is a snap of the fingers. It goes very, very fast. One moment you're young, the next moment you're old. And old age lasts a lot longer than youth does. Youth is fleeting. Old age is like forever, okay? So it's like, when is it going to end? And so, but as you have your real awareness in the real universes, and this is the part that really cannot be conveyed. It cannot in no way be conveyed. And that is because it is a recognition with your real awareness and not a definition with your literal mind. And so what we do is we do the best we can as we hint at it. And this is where many times in the past certain individuals have put it into poems or parables or what have you. But still that doesn't get it. That's old stuff now. It's kind of like the beatnik days where people did poetry. It sounds groovy, okay. You can all sit around and, pound on the bongo drums and say groovy. Okay, but you know what? Still doesn't get it. There's a bigger picture. But it's up to the individual with the knowledge that's available now. I've defined it more so than ever. Paul started out with the God and the spiritual idea. That was the babysitting days. And most people are still lost with that, even though they think that they've hit the ultimate and they've got their fake computerized initiations from their reptilian masters that are tap lining them, which they don't really see, but they think they have this great knowledge, but they're really being sucked down into the lower astral, and they don't see that either. Because the days of masters and gurus are gone. They really are. There's no such thing as masters either. But they think in their minds there is. And most of these people have stolen their titles. Paul had a title, and the two after him stole the title. This is just very, very real. In Book 9, I'm going to lay this out more. There's been a big conspiracy going on, and there's conspiracy all over the world. And people are waking up to the first stages of these conspiracies. But when you're in the real universes, no, there's an actuality there that what's nice is that you don't need an identity. You see? In the physical sense, you want an identity. You want to be someone, because this is the little self looking upon itself. It's like me, me, me. It's like I'm bigger than life itself. I know more than you see? And this is where the competition and all these ideas come from. That's the little self. But what's so nice about the real you is that you forget this creation, because you created the little self, this little stinker. You created him or her, you see? And yeah, it's not the gods. You did it. We all did it. Just like every decision we make is on our own. Nobody's deciding for us. And it's just like every thought we create, or how we move the body or whatever. We're creating those movements. We're creating those thoughts. We're creating those feelings. We're creating all of it. And we're creating the future. And most people are creating their future lifetimes, which they don't see, as they keep projecting into the future. And I see this all the time with mainly the masses, most people. And I see them on the real side. They're running into a future, and they don't know where they're going. They're just running. And this is how people have been geared. They're purposely running. They're purposely stressed. That's why the 9 to 5 is like it is. Time has sped up. That's why more people are stressed, because they want people to be stressed and distorted so they can control them. They want them to run into the future so that they will come back and be the support system. Because if there's no agreement here with the systems, then those that rule, the kings, queens, presidents, what have you, the authoritarians, then gee whiz, they've got to do everything themselves. And they don't want to do that. They'd rather be thought of as imperialists, special, etc., the so-called 1%, whatever you want to call them, and they want to be supported, and they want the masses to agree to support them, you see, and beg for another dollar on their minimum wage as an idea. This has all been purposely set up for people to keep coming back and back and back. So, again, yes, as you move into the real universes. See, I'm trying to give a comparison here, all right? That's the whole idea. Because as people, look at that area, it's like, well, what do you do there? Well, it's not a matter of doing something. It's a matter of waking up and recognizing, which is even better than doing something. Because you only do things in creation. In the real universes, you have this awesome recognition that supersedes anything that you could ever, imagine here, because even your imagination only works in creation because you don't need the imagination. It even supersedes that in reality, in the real universes. So how can I explain that? I can't. You have to learn to recognize it. And this is where very few people will be the real risk taker to do that. So they'll stay in creation. And they'll feel cuddly cozy with their beliefs and their ideas. And it's easier to think that, well, God created everything and God will take care of everything. Well, okay, it's like waiting at the bus stop, and guess what? There's no more buses. You're just going to keep waiting. That's your choice. So all I can do is report the news. This is what's really happening in creation. It really is. Life is not a belief. A belief is not going to carry anybody anywhere, and at times it will seem as though it does work. Yes, because it's cause and effect thinking. Yes, if you, pray for money long enough, yes, you will get money, and you will think, oh, gee, well, I prayed, so prayer works. Well, of course, things work in accordance. It may come really fast. It may come, weeks later. It may come years later or lifetimes later, or it may never come. You see, it's going to work differently with everybody. It's their relationship with how they decide and how things work accordingly. So it's like a person that wants a job. Well, if a person just using that idea wants a job, well, if the job's not out there, how's he going to get the job? You see? But if the job is there and he prays for the job, then all of a sudden he gets it. Well, he's thinking that, oh, my prayer works. No, the only reason he got the job is because the job is there. You see, and there is guidance. There are angels and saviors and whatever that guide people, because again, most people are in the baby brain states. They need to be babysat, and we all go through this. We all did. We were all raised by our parents, and we had to go through this. But at a certain point, we can excel that. It's just like going through high school. And, then we get out and we get on our own and we have our own life. We start our own life. We start experimenting with ourselves. But again, only because the job was there. It wasn't about the belief. It wasn't about the praying. But it looks like it was the praying or the begging and the petitioning to get the job. It's like, okay, finally I got it. Well, thank you, God. There is a God. God got me the job. But actually, no. The job was already there. All of a sudden it showed up. And yes, there is invisible guidance to get the individual there. But actually, you as a person go into the other worlds and find out where it is. You bring parts of yourself back, your awareness, and you start to intuitively guide yourself there is actually what you start to do. Just like once you've gone through high school and you decide to go to college, it's you deciding to do it. So you go out there and you explore the colleges. You walk up the college steps. Nobody does that for you. You go through the college, you take the tour. Intuitively, in some way, you figure out, okay, this is what I'll do. I'll go here. I'll talk to the counselors. Voila, pretty soon, 2 and 2, you put it together, right? You're doing all of that. Yeah, because the college is there. But if the college is not there, hey, you're not going to college. But the college has to be there, doesn't it? Yes. So somebody had to create it, didn't they? Yes. Did God create it? Or whatever. You can think so. Think whatever you like. Again, you're in cause and effect creation. The real universe is universal positioning. No, that's a unique position all its own. That's real freedom, where there are no restrictions, there are no gods, there are no authoritarians, there are no rules, regulations, there's no night, there's no unawareness, there's no unconsciousness, there's no effects, there's no pain. There's just this awesome adventure that you cannot even explain.